What's up, YouTube? Happy New Year. As you can see, I want to celebrate with you guys. This is week 1 of my 3rd year being on the channel. I wanted to do the TikTok trend, we listen and we don't judge, and just make it travel. Maybe some opinions of me being a solo traveler, a Black woman traveler, a vegetarian traveler. Those are the 3 hashtags YouTube is categorizing me by. Okay, so that is my perspective where I'm coming from. Let's hop right into it. Number 1 is going to be that I'm not loyal to any airline. I fly whoever is the cheapest. It doesn't matter if it is Spirit, Frontier, Breeze, Ryanair, Wizz Air. I've done T-Way Air. Just bring me on the deals. A lot of you know that I am Team carry-on. I have been for some time. I have not checked bags in so long. I can't even remember what it's like to lose luggage. Have I ever lost luggage? Or to be waiting for bags at the baggage claim. Like, that is not an experience that I have anymore because I'm Team carry-on. This might surprise you, but I don't have TSA PreCheck or global entry. When it got big and popular for all the travelers to get it, I believe I was living in China at the time. Back then, I didn't think I needed it. Now that I'm here stationed, now that I'm back in the US, I still have not needed it. Judge me if you want. I don't travel much now. I have not been out of the country, and I'm not doing a lot of domestic travel. I would say if you take more than 3 or 4 flights domestically, then maybe it would be useful to you. Don't feel bad if you don't have TSA PreCheck. I've been to 45 countries. I do not have TSA PreCheck or global entry. When I get it, I'll let you know and review it. Speaking of TSA, when it's time for me to join the line, you know, where they check your ticket, where you give them your ID, if there are multiple lines, I tend to go to the one I have to do a quick scan and see if there are seasoned travelers in the line, and I'll join that one. These people already have their shoes untied. It's easy removal. They have their laptops pulled out of their bags. They know the process and they keep the line moving quickly, especially because I'm not in the TSA PreCheck line. If it's a lot of kids, a lot of families, I'm not going to be in that line. Like, they will slow the process down. You guys know exactly what I am talking about. They're not stalling. Hey, I didn't know I had to throw away my water. They're trying to drink it. Like, let's keep the line flowing, you know? This one is kind of wrong, but sometimes I will close my eyes or I'll put in the headphones to appear as if I am occupied. That way I don't have to talk to the people next to me while I'm in flight. I will also try to avoid this by asking for an empty row right before check-in, asking if the flight is full, if they can move me up to an exit seat. We listen and we don't judge. Sometimes I don't get my hair and nails done before a trip. For me, it's all about comfort and ease. If you look at this picture, I was looking rough and tough. I went on a whim to Cambodia from China to see Angkor Wat, and the hair was looking a mess, y'all. It was. Not all the time, not every trip, but I will buy one-way flights because there's just something about the spontaneity of not knowing where you're going to end up and just letting the trip guide you day by day. I did this with Haiti. I actually knew my cousin was already going to be in the DR, so I bought a one-way flight to OCAP, and then after I had experienced it enough, I took the bus to the DR. And I crossed the border that way. Doing one-way flights, if it is allowed, I know some countries don't allow it, it brings a lot of fun and enjoyment for my travels. I'm not loyal to any airlines, but I do love Spirit. Without flying Spirit, I would not have visited the Caribbean. I'm talking about Haiti, Jamaica, Mexico. I also went to South America. I went to Colombia. Flying Spirit Airlines. I love the big seat. I love talking about Spirit Airlines. Other airline thoughts, I'm not a fan of United. Is there a reason? I'm not sure. I don't care for the airline. There, I said it. In fact, I've probably only flown them maybe once or twice in my entire life. I do believe that the Middle Eastern airlines, a lot of these airlines that are outside of the US, are better. Emirates, Saudia, I remember flying to Jeddah and I was really impressed. I was in economy and I still was impressed with the meals, the service that I had on Saudia Airlines. The Middle East has stepped up their game with their airlines. Don't even get me started on Korean Air, the ones that are in China, Japan. If you are becoming a seasoned traveler, you've got to experience the Middle Eastern Airlines. Qatar Airlines is my favorite. When I flew with them first class, it was an absolute dream. It was the only time I flew first class. It was from Dallas to Nairobi. Complete game changer. Being able to lie flat. Oh, you haven't lived until you've done that. I do have some favorite airports. I'm biased. I love DFW, Dallas airports. It's one of the best in the world, in my opinion. I love JFK. I love Chicago. These are major hubs that actually you'll be able to get cheap flights from. I do not care for Atlanta Airport. If I can, I avoid it by all means. In the future, I am going to give you guys a detailed review of the airport. There actually are some good things going on, but just traveling, transit might be a better option, but I just try to avoid it if I can. Sometimes I will spend the night at the airport to avoid paying for a hotel. I'm probably not going to get a lot of sleep anyway. My first time when I was going to Haiti, I did this at Fort Lauderdale Airport. Okay, I stayed up all night and then I flew out to Cap Haitian the next morning. And that's also good because you're going to have more time to explore if you're not exhausted from sitting on the chairs in the airport. Let's move on to accommodation. Some of you might not know, but I prefer staying in hostels over hotels and sometimes Airbnbs. Hostels are just going to give me that community feel. Yes, I am in a room with numerous people. You know, sometimes it could be male and female in the rooms, but I have my own bed. It is going to be cheap travel. If you're traveling on a budget, you're new to solo travel, hostels are the way to go. Sometimes I will meet people, you know, we're matching up itineraries. Theirs might be better than mine. And I say, hey, can I go with y'all? Or they'll say, do you want to go with us? And it ends up being a grand time. Other times I just stay to myself, or I can get a private room that's at a hostel. It's really up to you. Don't let social media make you feel bad for staying in hostels. Speaking of hostels, when I stay there, I don't lock up my belongings. I will have a backpack. You know how they'll have lockers and sometimes they'll sell locks if you don't bring one? Y'all, I really don't use a lock like that. This is an advantage of traveling while Black. Most people are afraid or scared of you, so they don't really want to be around in your space anyways, and they're probably not going to go rummaging around in your things. All I have to do is stand close to them and they'll just... But no, for real, I do not lock up my things. This one can be unsettling to some. I really am not much of a planner when it comes to travel. Once the flight is booked, I kind of make my plans once I land, especially when it comes to accommodation. I think of when I went to Brazil and I went all around Sao Paulo, Rio. I booked most of my accommodation once I arrived to the airport. And I mean, it was, well, Sao Paulo was a little, being a Black traveler, they were this over there. But later, as the trip continued, it did get better. I book where I'm going to stay once I land. Say it with me. We listen and we don't judge. Y'all probably judging me. For my peace of mind, I always bring a Turkish towel. I'm going to have flip-flops, especially when you are staying in hostels, you know, using the showers. And I like to have a satin pillowcase for my hair. I talk about this more in my essential travel items video. Another one, we listen and we don't judge, is that I wash my clothes while traveling. Remember, I pack light. Sometimes it will be my away carry-on luggage. The other times it will just be a backpack. So that means I'm going to have to wear clothes more than once, right? And I'm probably going to wash one load of clothes by maybe day 5 or 6 of a trip. I like to travel with the laundry detergent sheets, or I'll have the Tide Pod. Do y'all want me to say we listen and we don't judge before each one, or for me to just keep talking like I've been doing? I'm going to move on to activities. I know sometimes in the Black community, and it could just be all Americans, there is this air where people judge you based on the destinations that you go to. There's a saying, they're not going to Miami, Las Vegas me to death. Well, what's wrong with Miami and Las Vegas? Are these cities that I absolutely love? No, but I don't hate them either. In fact, Las Vegas is my highest performing content on TikTok. It's going to do well on YouTube. It's just a popular place. I think sometimes newbies to travel, to solo travel, they might get discouraged because they're like, well, I've saved up all year. I want to go here, for my birthday. I think those are excellent destinations for first time travelers. It could be for families, groups, couples. There's always going to be a good time in Las Vegas and Miami. I just was sharing with TikTok my Haiti series where I talked about the best food being Naomi's Garden in Miami, like South Florida. Are we even being for real? Do not let social media influence you, me saying this as I'm a YouTuber, where you want to go. It's up to you. There's nothing wrong with Miami or Las Vegas. Having a good time to me does not have to include going out all night, partying and drinking. That's not my style. That's never been the vibe. In fact, when I went to Las Vegas, I kind of took the non-party route. I was able to see a cactus garden, the botanical garden. I wasn't even on the strip the entire time. I did a day trip to go see what are those colorful rocks called? I'm getting a brain freeze. There's a lot of fitness, hiking activities. I went to see the memorial of the lives that were lost. For me, a lot of my, enjoyment would be from learning about history. I'm going to have a little bit of nature in there. There probably could be some shopping and, of course, reviewing the food. That is what is going to encompass my trip pretty much anywhere that I go. Drinking is a part of food, though. My point is I'm not out all night, especially as a content creator. I'm in if I can, unless I'm out with another. I was gonna say another man. Anyways, I don't like loudness, and it's really good for me to get back, especially traveling solo as a woman in these foreign countries. It's good for me to get back, at an early enough hour where I can get enough rest, kind of go over the content that I collected for the day, and I'm hopefully planning my next city because I do a lot of city hopping while I travel. We listen and we don't judge. I had to say it for this one. Solo travel is a choice. You want me to say that again? Solo travel is a choice. In fact, I prefer it. A lot of times people will ask me, well, don't you miss traveling with your family or with your friends? Or don't you wish you had a man to travel with? The thing about it is when you are traveling solo, you can do whatever you want. I can wake up and say, hey, I want to stay in bed all day, or I want to go to the spa, or I want to take the train and go to Shanghai. Okay. It is whatever you want to do. A lot of times, if you are in groups, you kind of have to go with what the group does or what the vibe is. What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? And it just drives me insane. I'm just like, somebody make a decision. For me, there's probably only, I'd say maybe 2-4 people that I could travel with. And I traveled with them last year to Atlanta. I'm being silly in this video, y'all. But no, solo travel is a choice. There are people who have gone, or maybe they've had a traumatic experience and then they hop on to solo travel. But for them, they would have actually preferred to do it with someone. For me, I was doing this in my 20s. I'm about to make this YouTube career out of it. Like, I am very passionate about the solo travel. It can be in the domestic USA. It could be overseas. It doesn't matter. Y'all saw me just talk about all the freebies I got in my own city. Solo travel is a preference. This is a solo travel channel. This is going to be for transportation. I do like to use different modes of transportation when I am traveling, whether it's the tuk-tuk, it could be the motorbikes. I did a lot of motorcycle travel when I was in Kenya and Rwanda, East Africa. I crossed the border from Haiti to the Dominican Republic by bus. Of course, I've ridden the train, the overnight train in Cambodia. So I do use a lot of modes, but you know which one I don't do is driving. I have never rented a car to drive over the seas, y'all. I've heard too many stories in places like Mexico where the police are bribing you, or, they'll shake you down for your money. Reading all of those reviews, I was like, I'm not going to do it anywhere else either. That also means you're going to be spending a lot of money on taxis. But honey, in China, I pulled up that Didi and I was like, Didi, take me where I need to go. For real, I don't drive around the foreign countries. We'll see if that changes. The last section is going to be food. We listen and we don't judge. on the airplane, I get excited to try out the vegetarian meals, you guys. You know, when you just book your flight, I will call the airline to request my special meal, and that brings me so much joy. I know the meals are full of sodium. Sometimes they're not hitting, but those Middle Eastern airlines that I talked to you about earlier, the food is so good. Even if you are in basic economy. Now, of course, Qatar Air, please. They are one of the best airlines. So on that first class, that was a true experience. They had unlimited dining. I'm not sure if that's what you call it. Y'all, I ordered everything on the menu. And then I knocked out. It was absolutely amazing. But even the basic meals that you get with these overseas airlines, I do enjoy them greatly. When dining alone, this is a fun one. I like to go to the restaurants and act as if I am a food reviewer. I've done this for some time. I used to do this with my friend Eb. When we were younger, we would go to the restaurants. We'd rate the ambiance, we'd rate the dish, how long it took them to serve us. And I really have gotten good service just by doing that. Sometimes I'll take a notepad and I'll write down notes. In Jordan, because of this, I was able to meet the actual owner of the restaurant. They were giving me coffee. Jordanian hospitality is on another level anyway. That was one of my best dining experiences in Amman. Thank you guys so much. They treated me like a queen. So yeah, I like to act like I'm a food reviewer. As my audience grows, I do want you guys to learn how to become global citizens and accepting of everyone, especially in interactions with the people you meet as you are traveling. I want you to remember that we are here to support one another and not judge. I know maybe some people that you have come into contact with or some people that you have met, when you share your travels, your opinions, they'll probably look at you funny or make a snide comment. Why do we judge others? I think it's just in their delivery, their tone. I'm sure I have done it as well. You might do it. Is it jealousy? Oh, I'm better than you. She's been to 45 countries. She knows more than me. So maybe she thinks she's the best solo traveler. And it doesn't have to be that way. My main goal when I started the channel was to help those looking to take that first solo trip by giving them my experiences from the places that I've traveled to, all of those countries. I want you to learn to embrace what you enjoy, not what you see on social media. Sometimes the influencers, they will push these certain destinations, but remember, they are on a contract and it's not necessarily going to be the same experience for you because you did not sign up with the tourism board. You understand? You have to do what is best for you. And if you have not yet taken a solo trip, try one in your own city. Okay, maybe you could go someplace that you've never seen before and see how you like that. Take the time to do some activities by yourself so you can figure out, hey, I like this. If I don't like traveling solo in my town, why would I go to Mexico? Why would I go to Bermuda, right? You're going to have to learn to enjoy your own company first and then venture out. That's why with the channel, I started out with US destinations. Wouldn't it be awesome if we as travelers could share our opinions, our thoughts, our deepest truths without being questioned or judged or like, oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's weird. Oh, she's this, she's that. We are not the same. My habits and preferences are not going to be what yours are. Solo travel is all about self-expression and finding that joy and freedom. Try listening with an open mind. Share how you like to travel down below in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And no, I'm not going to judge you. In this travel community, everyone is welcome. I hope that you are going to enjoy the rest of this solo travel series. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. As always, Happy New Year, and I'm going to see you soon. Y'all, I tried to dress up by wearing some pearls to start off the new year. I didn't realize it was going to interfere with the mic, so I had to re-record some of these parts.